Jiangzhou City, May 20th, 2024. A new spatial rift appears in the skies above Jiangzhou. 3rd Division, engage! The 3rd Division soldiers are fighting against the beasts. Some are launching swift attacks, while others are using fire-based assaults. At that moment, a wolf kills one of the soldiers and says, "These lowly humans are still resisting stubbornly." Standing atop a pile of corpses on the mountain peak, the six-eared Wolf King declares, "Eradicating you is only a matter of time." In that instant, the six-eared Wolf King leaps from the peak and, in a flash, attacks the entire frontline soldiers with a single strike. Seeing this, a female soldier exclaims in shock, "Gold level? Is this a higher level portal?" The Wolf King, with blood-stained claws, steps in front of her and says, "Now it's too late for you to realize." Just as he is about to strike her down, someone suddenly attacks the Wolf King. That person then looks at the beast and says, "I'll take care of this one. You go and wipe out the others." Recognizing him, the soldiers cheer loudly, "It's Mr. Wenyuan." Great! Mr. Wenyuan and the six-eared Wolf King then engage in a fierce battle. Sometime later, the woman goes to report to her superior. Report. With Mr. Wenyuan's help, we successfully defeated the invading six-eared wolf clan. The man sitting on the other side of the table responds, "Well done. Ah, yet another new rift. And it's a sea-level one. This is the 6th one in the last decade, right?" At the same time, he rests his chin on his hand, deep in thought. At this rate, Jiangzhou will eventually be impossible to defend. Then he looks at the woman and says, "That's something we can't handle at the academy." Starting this year, superhumans at Martial University are exempt from the cultural exams. The admission score for martial artists will be cut in half. Hearing this, the woman replies, "Understood." Meanwhile, the bell rings, signaling the end of a class at the academy. Inside a classroom, 2 boys are sitting together. One of them scolds the other, "Why aren't you paying attention in class again? It would be such a shame if you couldn't get into Martial University because of low cultural scores." The other boy retorts, "You're one to talk. Haven't you been sneaking peeks as well? If only I could sit next to the beautiful Yenran." At that moment, a red-haired boy sighs and says, "Really now? Why does Subai deserve all this?" Meanwhile, a girl is tidying up her notebook. Her name is Lin Yenran. Looks like she's our waifu. She then turns to our MC and asks, "Graduation is just around the corner. Subai, are you going to the academy or Martial University?" On the other hand, Subai has his head buried in a book. He replies, "I don't know. Have no idea? Going to the academy? My grades are average. And in these chaotic times, what's the use of foreign languages or advanced mathematics? Going to Martial University? Our family isn't wealthy. We can't afford all those supplements. Plus, I have no special abilities." At the same time, he thinks to himself, "Where should I go? I've reached another world. Shouldn't I have some heaven-defying talent or ability, like awakening a system? I'm starting to doubt if I've really crossed over." At that moment, our waifu, Lin Yenran, stands behind Subai and says, "Subai, come with me to the academy. I have a way to get you in directly." Suddenly, Subai shouts, "What?" Lin Yenran assumes he is shocked about getting into the academy and quickly says, "Keep your voice down." But in reality, Subai is seeing a new system panel for the first time in his life. Looking at it, he mutters in disbelief, "This is... It appeared just like that?" The system panel displays detailed information about Subai. As he scans through it, he thinks, Is this my system?" Meanwhile, Lin Yanran is standing right in front of him, watching his dazed expression. Concerned, she asks Subai, "What's wrong? You're sweating so much. Are you okay?" Seeing her reach toward the system panel, Subai realizes, it seems no one else can see this. He quickly grabs Lin Yanran's hand and reassures her, "I'm fine." But this simple gesture instantly enrages Lin Yanran's class fanboys. One of them shouts, "Get your filthy paws off my goddess." Another joins in, "Don't touch her." Ah! A third one growls, "Not satisfied even though you're sitting next to her? Watch how I teach you a lesson." With that, he immediately starts marching towards Subai. At that moment, a woman steps in and grabs the boy, stopping him. She addresses the class, "Everyone, settle down please. I have some good news to share. Jiangzhou Martial University has just posted an announcement on their website. Starting from our year, superhumans can be exempt from cultural exams and directly enroll in Jiangzhou Martial University. Students with a martial artist's physique will also see their cultural course score requirements cut in half." Hearing this, the entire classroom erupts in excitement. Great! Cultural courses halved. I'm definitely going to Martial University. Among them, one student exclaims, "If only I were a superhuman." Another laughs, "Haha. Having it halved is already good enough. As for superhuman powers? You're dreaming." As the woman starts to leave, she adds, "If you've already awakened abilities or have a martial foundation, please come to my office to register." After the woman leaves, Subai starts thinking, "Interesting? I just awakened abilities, and now I can go to Martial University without exams?" Seeing him lost in thought, Lin Yanran wonders, is he really planning to go to Martial University? After class is dismissed, Subai walks down the street, deep in thought. "My name is Subai, and I've been in this world for 17 years. On September 18, 1906, the sky suddenly tore open, revealing enormous spatial rifts. Beasts began pouring out of the rifts. Afterward, these vicious creatures rampaged across the world. Armies from all nations engaged in desperate battles against them. After 3 months of intense warfare, they finally managed to eliminate the beasts that had emerged from the rifts. However, as long as the rifts remained, more waves of beasts would continue to appear periodically. To uncover the truth, humanity decided to send suicide squads into the rifts to investigate. What they discovered on the other side was a vast, unending land. To prevent the beasts from continuously pouring out, military forces from various countries united and decided to build military bases within the rifts. From there, they could fend off the beasts at the source. Thus, humanity's new era officially began. On March 6, 1907, the second rift appeared in the sky. On May 7, 1907, the third rift followed. Then came the fourth, the fifth. Over the next 100 years, the number of rifts increased, and their frequency accelerated. Now they have spread all over the world. Each rift connects to a different race of beasts, so scientists have named the battlefield beyond the rifts the battlefield of myriad races. But at the same time, Earth's spiritual energy began to recover, and humans gradually awakened martial abilities and powers. As battles intensified, conventional firearms repeatedly failed on the battlefield, while superhumans grew stronger. Eventually, superhumans replaced firearms as the dominant force. The war between humans and the myriad races continues to this day. From the recent reforms at Jiangzhou Martial University, it seems that the situation in Jiangzhou is becoming quite dangerous. Good. Since I've activated a system, I need to protect my family in this chaotic world. The fastest way to improve my strength is through the martial universities supported by the military. Standing in front of a shop, Subai mutters to himself, "Luckily, I now have beast tamer abilities. All I need is a contracted beast to get into the university without exams. First step, head to Martial University. To Martial University, no matter what." He then looks at his phone and sighs. Hopefully, the over 2,000 yuan I've saved up will be enough. Slowly, he steps into the shop, thinking, remember, the system said it would automatically detect a suitable beast. Why isn't there any response? At that moment, the cashier inside the shop greets him, "Welcome. Can I help you with something?" Subai replies, "I'm a beast tamer." "What kind of beasts do you have available?" The cashier gestures to the side and says, "Look over there. That black cat, high price for an ordinary beast, but it has nether cat blood. It can easily evolve to silver level." Looking at the price tag, Subai thinks to himself, so expensive. The cashier continues showing Subai different beasts. "That four-eared dog over there isn't bad either. It has the six-eared wolf bloodline. Take a look around. This one. Which one catches your eye?" He then turns to Subai, only to realize he's gone. Surprised, the cashier mutters, Where'd he go? Meanwhile, Subai is already walking down the street, fuming. No way, are they robbing me? Just because the beasts have some monster blood, they're charging this much? What happened to my system? None of them are suitable? After some time, Subai returns home and says, I'm back. As he takes off his bag, a system notification suddenly appears in front of him. System notification. Suitable beast detected in the newbie gift package, a small turtle. Tame or give up? Seeing this, Subai jumps in surprise. Huh! The system is finally responding? A small turtle? He walks over to the turtle in his house and mutters, Are you talking about Dad's pet tortoise? Looking at the turtle inside the aquarium, he sighs, What the hell is this newbie gift pack? My first tamed beast is a tortoise. It's so small. What can it do? After a moment of hesitation, he shrugs, Well, I can't go to the battlefield to tame a fierce beast right now anyway. He selects tame and says, I'll just switch to something more impressive later. The moment he accepts, the turtle begins to glow. A system panel appears in front of Subai, displaying the turtle's information. Tamed beast, small turtle. Level, ordinary beginner. Bloodline, contains traces of the sacred black tortoise bloodline. Potential, can grow infinitely and will eventually slay gods. Constitution, 1. Defense, 3. Speed, 1. Ability, turtle shell defense. Evolution method, eating. Seeing the system panel, Subai is completely stunned. Black tortoise bloodline. Infinite growth. It will eventually slay gods. Huh! After reading it again, he suddenly bursts into excitement, lifting the small turtle into his hands. Haha! Now this is more like it. Black tortoise bloodline. How much is that worth? No way, I'm changing it. At that moment, someone enters the room. It's none other than Subai's sister, Su Xiaomei. She immediately yells at him, What are you trying to do to Xiao Ba? That's Dad's treasure. Subai quickly defends himself. I wasn't doing anything. But before he can finish, the tortoise suddenly leaps from his hands, straight toward a bag of food on the floor. Roar! Food! I'm starving! Both Subai and Su Xiaomei freeze in shock as they watch the turtle devour the food at an alarming speed. Subai shouts, Hey! You glutton! Su Xiaomei, equally shocked, exclaims, Why is this tortoise eating so much? Dad just fed it this morning. Watching the turtle eat, Subai starts thinking, It seems like its appetite has grown. Is it about to evolve? Determined, he says, I'll go get it some more food. Some time later. He stares at the turtle, still devouring food nonstop. Still eating? Half an hour later. Subai's mother and father return home. As soon as his mother steps inside and sees the mess, she gasps in shock. Was the house robbed? Meanwhile, Su Xiaomei is sprinting around the house, clutching a snack pack, screaming, This is my last snack. Right behind her, the tortoise is chasing her at full speed, roaring, Roar! Food! Subai's father, witnessing this bizarre scene, exclaims, Is this Xiao Ba? His mother, equally stunned, asks, Can tortoises run this fast? Subai, feeling awkward, scratches his head and mumbles, let me explain. A little while later. The dining room is in ruins. Subai sits on the floor, holding his head, sighing, sigh. Forget it. Dad and Mom have it tough enough already. Better not tell them Xiao Ba is a bottomless pit. I'll figure something out myself. Meanwhile, Su Xiaomei and the tortoise are still bickering, fighting over the last bits of food. The tortoise, now full, sits there contentedly digesting, its stomach rising and falling in waves. And then, roar! A massive battle-form projection of the black tortoise suddenly erupts into existence, towering over the room. Subai's eyes widen in shock. Is this? Did Glutton finally get full? Is the black tortoise bloodline about to awaken? The next day, Subai stands in front of the pet shop and says, Xiao Ba's erupting shadow vanished in an instant. The black tortoise bloodline hasn't awakened yet, but he's eating even more. So I came here. He then enters the pet shop. As soon as he steps inside, the shop assistant says to him, "Hello, you're here again. Have you decided what you want?" Subai replies, "I'm not buying anything this time." Then, he leans in and whispers to her, "I have exotic beast blood. Do you accept it?" Hearing this, the shop assistant exclaims, "You really have exotic beast blood?" Meanwhile, two men sitting nearby overhear their conversation. One of them says to the other, "Take care." Then, one of them walks over to Subai and the shop assistant, saying, "You go ahead." The shop assistant responds, "Okay, boss." The man then turns to Subai and says, "Young man, please come this way. Let's sit and talk. I heard you have exotic beast blood. May I first see its quality?" Subai replies, "All right." The man takes the bottle of exotic beast blood, sniffs it, and thinks, it's really exotic beast blood, and it's top quality. Then, he asks Subai, "How much do you want?" Hearing that, Subai thinks, it took a lot of effort to extract this blood from Xiaoba. It has to be at least 100 yuan, right? Then, he gestures with one finger. Seeing this, the man exclaims, 1,000 yuan? Subai, shocked, responds, "What? 1,000 yuan?" Seeing Subai's reaction, the man assumes he wants a higher price and thinks, "So you do know your stuff." Then, he increases the offer, saying, "Haha, just kidding. With such good quality, of course, it's 10,000 yuan." Subai shouts even louder, "What? 10,000? Seeing his reaction, the man thinks, still think it's too little? Then, he says, 15,000. I can't offer more. Meanwhile, Subai covers his mouth in excitement, thinking, I didn't think Xiaoba's blood was worth so much. Hard to suppress my smile. Then, he turns around and says to the man, "Alright, deal. If I weren't in a hurry for money, I really wouldn't sell it to you." A while later, Subai is leaving the shop, and the man and the shop assistant call out to him, "Take care, young friend. If you have good stuff again, feel free to come to me." Subai walks down the street, saying, "I really didn't expect exotic beast blood to be so valuable. I sold it for 15,000. Xiaoba can be self-sufficient now." Just then, he receives a phone call. The person on the other end says, "Hello, is this Subai? I'm Teacher Lee. The academic results are out, and there's also important news. Please come to the school this afternoon to fill in your application. Don't be late." Before Subai can respond, Teacher Lee hangs up. Confused, he says, "Hello? Teacher Lee? What's the important news? Hello? Hello? This lousy phone, why is there no signal again?" At that moment, Subai receives a system notification. Seeing it, he is shocked and exclaims, "What?" Just then, several people start approaching him. Seeing them, Subai thinks, so soon? They've already set their sights on me. One of the men smirks and says, "Hee hee, from the pet store owner's attitude, you must have something valuable on you, kid. Hand it over." Subai looks at them and says, "Big brothers, I went to the pet store to sell stuff, not to buy." At the same time, he thinks, why am I so unlucky? But if only one of them is a primary warrior, I'm not afraid. The man laughs and says to Subai, "Ha ha ha. Looking at your cowardly face, just hand over the money." Subai then tells Xiaoba, curls up, and says to the men, "Okay. I'll hand it over right now." Suddenly, he throws Xiaoba straight at them and shouts, "Take it." Seeing Xiaoba flying toward him, the man tries to block it and angrily shouts, "You." At that moment, Subai kicks the man in the balls. The man screams in pain, instantly feeling as if his balls have shattered like raw eggs. His men, shocked, yell out, "Boss!" Meanwhile, their boss clutches himself and rolls on the ground in agony. The other men, furious, start chasing after Subai, shouting, "Kid, you dare touch our boss!" Looking to die, Subai immediately runs away at full speed. While running, he asks his turtle, "Hit the bat, are you alright?" Xiaoba responds with a roar, like scratching an itch. Hearing that, Subai thinks Xiaoba's turtle shell defense is really no joke. The men get closer to Subai and shout, "Got you." At that moment, Subai commands, "Xiaoba, grab my fist." Xiaoba quickly wraps around Subai's hands like boxing gloves. Subai stops, turns around, and delivers a powerful uppercut to one of them. Instantly, he punches the other man hard on the head. Meanwhile, their boss, still writhing in pain, growls, "I'm going to kill you." Hearing this, Subai shouts, "Xiao Ba, pull back." Then, with all his strength, he hurls Xiao Ba straight at the boss. Xiao Ba smashes into the boss's head, knocking him out cold. Subai looks at them and says, "You provoked me? You brought this on yourselves." Meanwhile, Xiao Ba starts digging through the boss's belongings, trying to eat something. Noticing this, Subai shouts, "What are you eating? What good thing did you find?" He rushes over and snatches a bottle from Xiao Ba's mouth. Checking it, he exclaims, "Is this a qi and blood potion? Whoa, this bottle is worth tens of thousands." At that moment, something starts happening to Xiao Ba's body. Seeing this, Subai yells, "A warrior needs to absorb this over a month. You ate it all in one go? Can you digest that?" At that moment, Subai notices something. His entire body is surrounded by a faint blue glow. Feeling the power surging through him, he exclaims, this time, the feeling of growing stronger is intense. Just then, a system notification appears, informing him that due to his tamed beast's level increase, his own level has also risen. Along with that, it provides several other details. Subai, amazed, says, "This qi and blood potion is really powerful. My stats have increased so much, and I even gained a new talent." He then checks Xiao Ba's updated information and, shocked, yells, 32 physique, 38 defense. Its size has increased too. I remember in class, they taught that even strength-type exotic beasts at normal high levels only reach 30. This is how strong it is without activation. What would it be like when activated? Lifting Xiao Ba up, Subai says, "Enough. Let's get out of here quickly. The academic results have been released. Today, we need to submit our applications, and there's also an important notice." Meanwhile, in Subai's class, a teacher stands in front of the students and announces, "Tomorrow, the special admissions teacher from Marshall University will come to our school to conduct an ability test for the candidates. As always, there are 2 guaranteed spots this year." Hearing this, Lin Yanran turns to Subai and asks, "Subai, have you decided yet? Will you apply to the Humanities Institute or Marshall University?" Without hesitation, Subai replies, "Marshall University. I must get into Marshall University." Lin Yanran, surprised, says, "Didn't I tell you to apply to the Humanities Institute with me? Marshall University sends students to the battlefield. You know how dangerous the battlefield is, right? And your grades?" Subai responds firmly, "But someone has to go to the front lines. It's a good thing. I'm going to the front. To protect someone important." Hearing this, Lin Yanran's mind races. Someone important? Could it be me? At that moment, a teacher approaches Lin Yanran and asks, "Lin Yanran, which one will you apply to?" Hearing this, Lin Yanran starts thinking deeply. Meanwhile, Subai watches her and thinks, she probably hasn't awakened her ability. She's never trained her body. She's likely to choose the Humanities Institute, right? After a moment of contemplation, Lin Yanran replies, "I haven't decided yet. I need to think about it more." The classroom teacher then announces, "For each of you, this is a very important decision. Take your report card, go home, and discuss it with your parents. By tomorrow, you must submit your application. School's out." All the students respond in unison, "Got it, teacher." Then someone takes off their clothes and steps into the bathtub. It's none other than our waifu. Meanwhile, Lin Yanran calls Subai and says, "Hello, Subai. I've also decided to go to Marshall University, and I'll even give you a surprise." On the other side, Subai is busy cleaning up Xiao Ba's poop. Hearing Lin Yanran's words, he looks shocked and asks, "Huh? You're not joking? You applied to Marshall University?" Lin Yanran responds confidently, "Yes, I've made up my mind." Still holding the poop, Subai sighs and says, "All right, I won't say much now, I have some important things to take care of." Just then, behind him, Xiao Ba starts digging into the food bag. Noticing this, Subai shouts, "Xiao Ba, you little troublemaker. You eat and poop so much. You're turtle dung, it's killing me." Guys, how did you like this story? Do you want to see the next episode? Let me know in the comments.